month, and it is right down the road. You can stand at the corner of 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, right over here for Avicolli's, at the corner of Oswego Rd and Route 57, and you can literally see Liverpool High School. That's where this gentleman went. We met when he was 16 years old at Liverpool High School. You were playing football. You were linebacker?
Linebacker and running back, yep.
Okay, yeah. So
Right.
I think we're talking about being a linebacker. And then fast forward from then to you're 24 now.
Yeah.
So 8 years later, a boxer that's 20-1, you're a professional, you just won your last fight to get to 20, and now whenever I go somewhere and I'm thinking about Bryce Mills, I just remind myself not to blink. So, with that being said, can we give Bryce Mills a round of applause, show him some love? So,
Thank you.
you got a lot of love, and this is the thing too, is like we do the show here at Avicolli's, but we also do it online and it's worldwide. So we have countries all over the world, and of course we're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. There's such a wonderful response to like any time I put something out there. You get a lot of love and a lot of positivity that goes your way. And so I want to welcome everyone from wherever you are. You know, I know on Wake Up Call we've had Sweden, Italy, the United Kingdom, Spain, France, Mexico, the Middle East, as well as Canada, and we've had Russia, we've had South Korea, we've had China. So shout out to wherever you are, because this man is going to be your international favorite face. So, you know, I'm here to promote that guy. So, you know, happy to be here with you. Happy to be here with somebody that a long time ago, before he was 20-1. So I can say I didn't jump on the train when the train was going fast. You know, when you were getting that train out of the engine or out of the station and we were just starting there, I called you my little brother a long time ago. And you've let me do that, and I'm just happy that, you know, you're part of the family. So welcome to the show, little bro. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I mean, it's always an honor being with you, and, you know, at this point you're family after 8 years and still doing interviews. Hopefully we got another 8 years left and keep doing them down the road too. So,
Yeah,
man, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you. We're going to talk about 40-1. We're going to keep going from there. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. But, you know, I mean, to me, when I go back to the first fight that I got to see you in live, we were at Turning Stone. And it was your first time out at Turning Stone in Syracuse. And, you know, there was so much going on there, and it was a huge night. And I'm sitting there, and, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, this is the first time I got credentialed for Hall of Fame weekend. And I had taken pictures before when Tyson and Stallone were there. But I'm hanging out ringside, and I'm just like a couple rows back. And I look down at the card, and I go, man, that Bryce Mills name looks familiar to me. And then I see you walk on, and you come out, and you had the pinstripe shorts on. And I just thought to myself, like, what an amazing moment. And it's just so awesome to see the people that you like love and appreciate win, and you won that night. But to me, you won just by being at Turning Stone. I mean, is it surreal to you to look at your life and say, I'm 24 years old, and like I've gotten a fight and amazing, like you got to have a fight at Turning Stone, and like Showtime's there, there's all this stuff, but like that was nuts.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back to that?
Yeah, to me, like you said, it wasn't just the win that I had in the ring that night, but it was the experience of, you know, being able to fight at Turning Stone and being able to do it in front of my loved ones and, you know, everyone that I care about on a worldwide platform like HBO at the time. And it's something I'm always going to remember. So when I'm 60 years old, you know, I'll come back to that moment and say, I did this, I went here, I fought in this place. So that's where the win is. The win is in the memory. The win is in doing something in front of the people you love and, you know, getting to live my dream and chase it day after day. That's the winning. That's where it is.
Well, and the beauty of this is, you know, 100% of who's on the screen right now is living their dreams. You wake up every day and you're a professional boxer.
Yeah.
I wake up every day and I get to work in the world of, you know, like movies and broadcasting and all this stuff. Like, we love it. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So when you're waking up every day to this, and you're one of the 0.000000001% of the world that is literally doing what they love and loving what they do. What does that feel like when Bryce Mills opens his eyes, looks up at God, and gets to take another breath?
I feel very fortunate. I feel very lucky to be in a position to where I can do what I love to do and follow my dreams and follow my passion, because I know a lot of people would love to be doing what I'm doing right now, would love to be in the position that I'm in, and unfortunately for me, I'm just one of those people who have an amazing support system around me, an amazing team around me, amazing coaches, sparring partners. I could go on forever with the people that allowed me to be in the position I'm in today. So because of the people around me and the plan that God has in store for me, that's why I'm here today, and I'm very fortunate to be in this position.
And it's awesome, and we're gonna go to so many places in this conversation that's gonna just intertwine. So I'm gonna throw some curveballs at you, and feel free to do the same for me. But we haven't seen you in a cowboy hat in a minute. So, is there the last time you and I talked, it was right before you were going on vacation.
Yep.
With your lady.
That's right.
And that was when you put on your cowboy hat.
Yes.
And I got to see pictures. Do you ever talk to? Can we shout her out? You want to shout out your?
Shout out Gabrielle Reed.
So
I got a lot of different names for her. I call her Gabby, Gabrielle, Munchkin. We got a lot of different names, but we'll go with Gabrielle Reed for today.
So, do you ever talk with Gabby and say, "This is a great picture. This is a great moment for us. This is a great picture for us. So let it stay with us, and let's not send it to anybody else"? Do you ever talk to her and say, "I love you to pieces. I'm happy we're on vacation, but don't put my cowboy picture on Instagram"?
Honestly, like my dad said, it is a great idea, but unfortunately, I kind of take the back seat in the relationship. I let Gabby, she's a little more independent than I am, so I let her do her thing, and I'm just kind of along for the ride. So I got to take some of the pain of being dressed up in an Eeyore costume and having cowboy hats and having those photos on social media sometimes.
Well, and I was going to get to that, and you leaned right into it. I mean, you were Eeyore this Halloween.
Yes.
And I saw you in the giant onesie.
Yeah.
It was right after you fought.
Yeah, correct.
So here's shirtless Bryce Mills, 20-1, just laying a blow. The guy's face is all bloody. And then here's Eeyore with the floppy ear onesie on.
That's right.
And I was thinking to myself, and you had such a big cheese smile when you had that Eeyore costume on.
I did.
So what was your happiest moment Halloween week? Going 20-1 or being Eeyore? Because the picture shows that it was Eeyore, and don't you lie to your big brother.
Well, I think it was a couple of the 1911 ciders I had before that moment, and the pizza that I just devoured. That was also a great moment, but Eeyore was pretty cool too. I can't lie, I was kind of feeling him, so yeah, it was a good night.
Because you talked about the dog is Winnie.
Winnie, yes.
So the whole point was Gabby was Piglet,
yep,
and you're Eeyore.
Yes.
You couldn't draw straws to be Tigger at least, or?
I didn't even know who Eeyore was, to be honest with you. I thought it was just a blue elephant, and I was wondering. I don't ask questions at this point. Just let her, take the wheel and just along for the ride.
Gabby, he told me before that he wished he had taken me off his reels. That the algorithm didn't let me see it, but. I'm going to ask Gabby this, and I can't we have a speaker right here, but Gabby, I'm going to look at you for a moment here. I've gotten to know you for the last couple of years, right? So I feel like I can ask you this. Has Bryce ever posted something that you would have hoped that he didn't? Was there a picture of you that you thought, what picture was that?
I don't know, even his birthday posts are very interesting.
Okay.
The choice of photos would not be my choice.
Okay.
But
So are you like angles? Are you saying I got to be on this side of you when you take a picture, Bryce? Or
No, it's just not even like our best photos.
Oh, okay.
But he has very interesting favorite photos.
Okay. Interesting favorite photos.
An interesting guy. What can I
So,
say?
you know what I love is that this camera will like have a mind of its own and it zooms when it wants to and it changes direction. When I asked you that question, it zoomed in on his face hardcore to get his reaction.
He
So,
knows I'm right.
so you don't always pick the best photo. So you said you take a back seat, but you pick the photos over Gabby? Because normally in today's America, the lady's going, of these 47 photos we just took in 3 seconds, you got to take number 45 and number 42 and delete the rest.
I do think I may like my angles a little more than Gabby does. I always got to be on the left side of certain photos, and
Okay.
she's a little more like, she'll do whatever when it comes to photos. So I'm a little self-conscious when it comes to the angles and where
Okay.
I'm at. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, we got to post this photo, and it is what it is. Sometimes I got to wear the pants when it comes to the photos.
Sometimes you got to wear the pants and sometimes you got to wear the onesie.
Yes, yeah, correct. Unfortunately.
That's how it is. So bring me into this fight, the 21st fight. 21's my favorite number. And so you win number 20 here. So bring me into fight 21 and just paint the picture for those that were there and those that were not.
Yeah. So, fight 21 I knew off the bat was going to be a special one for me. And I knew that because I knew I was going to fight an opponent who was coming to fight, who was coming to put on a show and was coming to press the action. I feel like a lot of times in my fights, people typically will try to box me and try to run around the ring and, try to get in their toes, jab, move their head, and they don't really typically come to fight me. This guy, with his style, watching his past fights, I believe he was in 2023, 2024, the fight of the year.
Yeah.
So I knew he was coming to fight me, which really just genuinely excites me because I know it's going to be an exciting fight for myself because that's what I love to do, and it's going to be an exciting fight for the crowd. And I knew it was going to be an amazing fight, and I think it was. I think we put in a show for the crowd. He came to fight like I thought he was. I met him in the center of the ring, and I just beat him in his own game, and I did what I do, and it was a great win. First time I was ever 10 rounds in my career, and I felt excellent doing it. I was fresh in the 10th round. I think I landed some great punches. I took some punches as well, so it's a fight I can learn a lot from, but it's also another big win. It's 120, which is huge.
Well, and there's, and I'm sure you know this by now, but there's punches you have to take, right? There's moments where you have to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, and I know, it's going to vary with who you're fighting and their style of how they're fighting you, but what's the art of that dance for you of knowing, okay, I have to let myself get hit right now in order to get a better angle on this or to give them some type of confidence because I'm going to come with it? Like, how do you kind of do the dance of, I need to get hit this time?
I wish I could say that, I let people hit me. Unfortunately, I don't too often. But with my style, it's a come forward style, and I'm typically the aggressor in all my fights. You're going to take punches whether you like it or not, and it's just something you have to deal with. But I do think, being mentally strong, being physically tough and durable and conditioned, being able to take those punches sometimes does take away from your opponent's confidence, right? If you are able to eat a punch and he thought he hit you with a bomb and you'd be a little bit more phased or take a step back and you don't, I think it eats away your opponent's confidence, but it also may have them change your game plan. They may try to do something else. It may then throw them off and say, okay, I gotta move because I can't sit in the pocket. I can't throw power shots with this guy because he can clearly take them. So,
Do you have an element to your game that involves acting? I'm going to let him think, then I'm a little rattled, and then all of a sudden I'm coming at you fast. Do you ever have those moments?
I can't say I've acted just yet. Maybe that's what Fight 22 has in store. Maybe I do a little rope and doping, act like I'm hurt, and I come out and let my hands go. But haven't done that just yet, but that definitely is a tactic.
When you are training and you're thinking about kind of how you're going to go into the fight, what you're going to do, and you're studying your opponent, how much of it, when you look at the balance of studying your opponent and knowing where you think their weaknesses are versus like your game is your game, how do you do the balance of that? Like, do you alter a lot of what you do? Or do you feel like, hey, I'm Bryce Mills, this is who I am, I know that I have to hit these points and I have to do these things with this specific opponent, but I'm not going to like change the sauce, so to speak?
Exactly. I believe it's a little bit of both. So I do the higher level, I continue to grow and fight better and better opponents. You do have to watch film. You do have to dissect your opponents because that's part of the game. Just like a football team watches film on an opposing team's defense or their offense, I have to watch film on my opponent, see what punch is his power punch, see how many times he's throwing his jab, if he likes to come forward, if he likes to fight going backwards, how his conditioning typically is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I'm not my best self, then I can watch film all day long, know my opponent's in and outs. I'm not going to perform like I want to in the ring. So it's always me first and me executing to the best of my ability, and then it's my opponent second. But I like to do a little bit of both.
We know that your catchphrase is "Don't blink."
That's right.
So, how many times did you catch your opponent blinking in Fight 21?
I caught him a lot of times in that fight. And he was extremely tough. My hands kind of told that story after the fight. They were both swollen. And credit to him because he ate some very big punches and he kept coming forward. He did go to his heels, which I didn't see on film. And I believe he felt the power, but he didn't go down. And credit to him, he was a true tough man, tough fighter, and made me work for the W.
And you talk about going 10 rounds for the first time. That stamina, the durability, the ability to stay fresh and stay functional and stay the attacker, the aggressor through 10 rounds. Bring me into that, just how you kind of saw your body through 10 rounds.
My conditioning is something I always have 100% faith in, and the only reason I say that is because it's something that I can always control.
Yeah.
Conditioning, I believe, is something that every person, every fighter can control because it's just putting the work in.
Yeah.
As long as you put the work in and you do your conditioning throughout your training camp, you can expect yourself to be conditioned in the ring. So that's really, seeing people gas out and seeing people get tired just tells you that, okay, maybe this area in their training camp was slacking a little bit. Maybe they didn't do enough conditioning. They didn't do enough hard work. So that's something I have the utmost confidence in because I know for a fact I'm always going to put that extra work in so that I am the more conditioned fighter in the ring. So not only was I like, I'm going to go 10 rounds for the first time, but I was like, okay, he has to go 10 rounds with me in this fight, and he has to match my pace, and, he's got to be in the ring for those 10 rounds.
And we've talked a lot about your opponents, the putting together of the schedule. Bring me into that of, you always talk about your team and how strong your team is. Is this your team doing the research, finding areas that they think like this would be a good opponent to fight, this would be a good place to fight, you fought overseas before. So how much of it is your team kind of discovering, how much of it is you? Do they come to you and say, okay, we looked at 20 different fighters and these are the 3, Bryce, that we think would be your best next fight, and then you decide? Like, bring me into figuring out who the next foe is going to be.
So typically when it comes to deciding who my next opponent is and taking future fights, I never really have a say because as a fighter and doing what I do, I need to have the utmost confidence in myself and believe that, I can beat anyone on this planet. And when I step in the ring, I'm not looking at who my opponent is, what his credentials are. I'm believing that I'm going to go out, I'm going to get the W, I'm going to take care of business. So typically it's my team that's looking at the opponent or it's the promotion itself. But I do believe my team has the utmost confidence in myself as well. And I don't really think they're denying opportunities at this point. I think we're open to accepting the biggest and best fights right now and making those fights happen.
And, we've gotten to see so many wonderful moments in your very young career. I mean, I look at it like this. You're 24 and you have 20 victories and you've had 21 fights. So you've almost had as many fights as your age. And you almost have as many wins as your age. And, you're gonna catch up to that. You're gonna surpass it. I believe that. And and we're gonna have fun with this thing. We've talked about where, and we've discussed how awesome Turning Stone was, and we've also talked about Madison Square Garden. Like, if you right now in this moment, has any of that changed? Is it the Garden? Like, if you had to think about it, we talked about maybe having an outdoor fight. Like, that's something that'd be really cool. So, what is the kind of dream now? Is it the same or is it different?
So as far as fighting in a different area, there's a lot of areas, like I said, that I would love to fight at. I do believe the Garden would be nuts. Getting that fight on 6 weeks' notice, 8 weeks' notice, enough time to where people can make plans to come down and get their rooms in New York City and get their tickets at the Garden.
Yeah.
I think we would, if it was the Hulu Theater, I think we sell it out. Madison Square Garden, I think we put a very big dent in the MSG, and that would be a dream come true. I've watched the Knicks growing up. I've watched a big Yankee fan, big New York type of guy, so to be able to fight in the Garden would be a dream come true. My papa has always talked about Las Vegas. Loves to gamble. That might get him in a little trouble. But, yeah, that'd be another one where you see the best boxers on the planet to ever do this fight all the time. So either of those places would be cool. But I'm also very blessed to be able to fight in Syracuse in front of my people.
Yeah.
Because more people are able to come out. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about having your people there. And the venue's only part of it. Having your people there is a much bigger part of it. So.
Yeah, and speaking of the grandfather, Papa, that we're looking at right on the other side of this camera. So if you had a fight in Vegas, do you think that the money that you would potentially win could bail him out of jail when he overspends himself in Vegas?
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's hope I'm fighting for that much money, but I mean, I can only pray.
And I do have to say this too, because I've gotten to, like you said, and you said I'm part of the family, and you're the same for me, and I appreciate that. I've gotten to know your family and gotten to be close with them and spend time with them, and I get excited when I know I'm doing an event with you. I know it's not just you. I know I'm getting to see everybody, and Papa. I have to say this because I value grandparents so much. You gave us a scare a little while ago, but we're happy that you're here. And I tell people all the time, if you have grandparents, give them a hug and a kiss. Then when you go to leave, turn around, do it again. Then do it until they yell at you to leave the house because you kissed them too many times. So just what it means to you, I mean, obviously to have your grandparents, to have your parents, to have Gabby, to have your family in general that's here. But, I just want to give a special shout out to Papa because God's been great enough to let you keep telling your story, young man. So just what you can say about having Papa here.
Well, thank you for that. You're 1,000% right. My Papa has been there from my first fight when I was 12 years old to my first athletic event when I was probably 4 or 5 years old. He's been to absolutely everything. And when I tell you everything, I mean everything. And everyone in every sport, on every team that I've ever played on, everyone has loved Papa and has nothing but great things to say about him. He shakes his head and he acts like that's wrong, but that's actually the truth. So
Yeah.
I think it meant a lot for everyone to acknowledge, what he went through at a local amateur boxing event, and a situation where he possibly could have not been with us after that day. And thankfully, I had my coach there, who's also a registered, licensed EMT, who was able to help him along with another doctor, able to assist him. And thank God he was in that environment with those people around him, because that's why he's still here today and still supporting me and being the person he is. So we love Papa, and I could not be more grateful to have him in my life than I am.
And for somebody whose grandfathers and grandmothers are up in heaven, I just love seeing people love their grandparents, and I love seeing their grandparents show up for them and love them back. So, I want to shout out grandparents in general, and we got to clap it up for Papa because you're here with us, right? We got to clap it up for you. There's no other place you needed to be, Papa, and I think God knew that. And I'm happy that God continues to bless us, because you and I, we've talked about God for years. And those things don't happen by coincidence. God was looking out for Papa because God knows that you may think people come to see you fight, but they actually come to see Papa. That's what they're there for. So we're happy to have him here. We're happy to have your family here.
Yes.
So before we get into rapid fire, I kind of want to go back in time. And I want to go back to the first time that we met, when I didn't know you and you didn't know me, and we're doing a Liverpool football event, and you were sitting to my right. And just from that moment to now, how have you grown as a human being? From sitting there as a running back and a linebacker to being a professional boxer, and just, obviously all these years that have passed by. I mean, I remember that first moment on stage. So who were you then, and who are you now, and maybe what about you never changes?
I think it's, with anyone, especially myself, I think it's been a constant evolution. I'm constantly trying to better myself, and although that may not be the case, although everybody goes through little slopes in their lives and little times where they may not be their best selves, or they have a loss, they have a personal loss, they go through ups and downs, right? And as long as you're steadily climbing and staying in the right direction, I believe there's always hope. But I'm not the same person I was then. I believe I've matured in several ways because of my parents, because of my girlfriend, for sure. Because of Hoffa, because of my grandparents, because of my coaches.
You said your name louder so he doesn't get in trouble.
Yes, my girlfriend.
You were like, because of my girlfriend.
That's right.
And my grandparents. Yeah, I heard you. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Your grandparents.
So, I think I've been lucky enough to have so many great people around me that have been able to teach me right from wrong, who've been able to show me right from wrong, and who've been able to guide me in the right direction. And just keeping faith in God and trying to be the person that He intended me to be the best version of myself, has allowed me to be able to mature, has allowed me to work harder than I did in the past, has allowed me to value the little things in life and live in the moment, and love my family, love the people around me, and value the connections that I have. more now than I think I have in the past. And not to say I'm a completely different person. You know, I like the same things. I think, a very similar person. But yeah, I think I've evolved and for the better. I would say so.
I would say that you're moving in the right direction, kid. So when we look at the ingredients, you're welcome. When we look at the ingredients to success, which I do every week with Avicolli's, today's topic was what's your value? And you just talked about value. And I've had a lot of conversations that I don't enjoy. And those conversations, I shouldn't say I have a lot I don't enjoy, I'm not a fan of the how many. Like, how many people came to your fight? How many people are watching your Facebook thing? How much money did you make? How many this? How many?
Yeah.
And this is what I tell people. I go, so if it's all based on clicks and influence and likes, have you gotten a lot of people? Yes. Have we reached 1 million people on the show? Have we done things all over the world? Yes. But when I check myself, when I have conversations with people that are like, yeah, you're 22 years in the business, but you're nobody. My reaction to that, for you, for me, for anyone, is, so Jesus had no Twitter followers. Jesus didn't have Instagram Reels. Jesus didn't do any videos on TikTok. Jesus didn't have a Facebook following. Jesus didn't make a lot of money. And Jesus didn't sell out any shows. And there were more people that wanted to kill him than wanted him to live. But God let him in heaven. So does it really matter the quantity when we talk about value?
I couldn't have said that better myself. You're 100% doesn't. It's it's the quality over quantity. It's who you are deep down, and I believe when it comes to judging the quality of a person, no other person can do that. Only God can do that. And
right.
Like you said with Jesus, the reason he is who he is because of God and because of what he had to say, not because of what other people had to say or the following that he had.
Yeah. So we always have these conversations, and I love them and I appreciate them. It's time for us to play rapid fire, where we can talk about any topic, any subject. We can talk about your favorite characters of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. We can discuss all of the beautiful costumes that Gabby has in store for your future. We can talk about anything. But you get to ask me the first question. So what's your question for me?
Well, since we're on the topic of Halloween costumes, over the years, just before I ask the question, have you dressed up in Halloween costumes?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what has been your most outlandish, wild, crazy Halloween costume in your lifetime?
So, I'm not a person that believes in the polarization of politics. But if people can go with me on this, whether you like this person or not, I had a very creative, and I like to be comedic.
Yeah.
So there was a politician who sent a lot of emails that got lost. And I created a costume with a sandwich board on both sides that had all of these emails, and if you walked up to me and you read them, each of them was an email. Each of them was funny, and it was a joke, and it was two different people. So I was Hillary Clinton's lost emails. And if you came up to me, I had emails to Bernie, emails to Bill, emails to Donald Trump. Like, it was all kinds of stuff. So like when people came and they're like, oh, okay, that's funny, they probably thought like there's just gibberish, like letters. But no, like every one of like the 20 things was a joke that I wrote in some way.
Oh my.
So that was probably the most creative. But I would say that when I created my own Star-Lord costume to bring my godson around, so this was fun. So I was the Joker a few years before. I didn't know this, but him and I are the same human being. And so he dressed up as the Joker, and he looked like how I looked, but like as a little man. And he was waiting on the steps, and I got to his grandparents' house, And they're like, you don't get it. We told him you were coming. He would not come in the house because you had to see his costume. So I have my dog dressed up as Minnie. So Lily's Minnie. I'm Star-Lord. And I was with, Johnny couldn't be there, and Johnny and I are like brothers. So like his kids, I'm Uncle Dan, and I go to family stuff, and like we just call each other brothers. So Johnny wasn't there, but Erin, his wife, was there, and her sisters to take the kids around. And they were walking around drinking out of water bottles that didn't have water in it. And they said to me, they said, why don't you take the kids for a minute? So, I'm going to play with this. So I'm going around these neighborhoods of central and upstate New York, and I have my dog in one arm. I have Ari in the other arm, little Ari, my little niece, who's like the sweetest child ever. And then I have Noah, and I'm walking with them. And as we're getting close to a house, I said, make sure you guys do the faces that Daddy taught you. And make sure you get 2 pieces of candy, because remember, Daddy can't afford the candy that you love, but I wish I could. And so I'm walking through the neighborhood, and I waited till I was around people, and I'm like, I look at people, I go, man, it is so hard being a single dad. And you guys have no idea what I go through. I said, these poor kids, they look at me and they go, Dad, we got 1 Reese's, and I'm like, well, we're going to have to cut it in 4s, honey. And so I just played it the whole time, but we had fun.
I'm sure they had a great Halloween and a whole lot of candy if you were playing it like that.
Oh, they did. I said, when you go up there, you make sure you show your face.
Oh, yeah.
And just let them know. If they hand you 1 Crunch Bar, just go, you see that guy over there? That's my dad. He works really hard. And we're just happy that he got off work today to take us out. So I told Johnny, I said, I brought your children around and pretended to be their father and got them candy, so you're welcome. And then, and my niece and my nephew, my godson, like, they're so giving. So this Halloween, they had a soccer tournament. And they said, take 1 piece of candy from each table. And then Noah was taking more than 1 piece. And he's such a good kid, but he was taking more than 1 piece. And so Ari started doing it. And this sweet little 4-year-old gem that she is, she took the candy and she was putting it in her bag and putting it in her hoodie and then pulling her hoodie up to wear it. I go, who taught you how to be such a good shoplifter? Like, what is going on? So as we were leaving, I go, Ari, go over there and get a peanut butter cup. And she's looking at me, and she was picking what she wanted. I go, get a peanut butter cup for Uncle Dan. So we got it. We walked outside, and once we were in a safe distance, I said, do you have the peanut butter cup? And then so she was handing me what she got for me. So, but yeah, they're just really good kids, and I love them to pieces. So, Mike, I love all my nieces and nephews. I'm not going to discriminate. So, my question back to you, Bryce. If Gabby lost a bet, what would be your favorite costume to make her wear right now?
Gabby lost a bet.
So she loses a bet, like, let's say,
Yeah.
Are you a Giants fan?
I am not a
You're not a Giants fan. Who are you a fan?
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Okay, that's right.
Through and through.
So you're a Cowboy fan.
Yes.
So let's say that Dallas plays the Giants, right? And so you and Gabby are talking, and just for her to like get under your skin, she goes, I'm taking the Giants. And you say, bet money. If you lose, you have to wear this
costume
for 24 hours, and we're going to Target, Wegmans, Walmart, we're going to the mall, we're going to Liverpool High School, like we're going to be around people all day. And we're going to do this next week. Like it's going to happen right now before Thanksgiving. What costume are you going to make her wear?
Man, I mean, there's a lot of things that I could say right now, but I don't really want to say that.
Say it.
I don't want to address. I don't want to address politics or political figures, but
Come on,
you know how
Gabby.
strongly some people feel. So I don't want to tell her that she would have to be a politician.
Okay.
But I'm sure she would not like that very much.
Well, what would you do that's playful and fun?
But what I would probably do would be I would have her dress as oh my, this is tough.
Enjoy it,
This is tough.
because it's the only time.
This would be my favorite costume.
Okay.
I would have her dress.
I love how it zooms in on you every time I ask about Gabby.
Oh wow, that's
It
pretty
goes.
cool.
It went right in on
That's
you.
high tech.
When she watches this back, like she's gonna know your immediate reaction to everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have her dress as my dog, Ajax Mills. That would be one of the best days of my life.
Okay.
Two of my favorite people, but also Ajax is one of the goofiest looking dogs you will ever see with the biggest eyes. So if there was like a way to magnify her eyes
Yeah, we can again.
and just put her like in a little white fluffy costume.
She said she would do that willingly.
We're supposed to be on.
Well, I'm not trying to make her mad because when you make Gabby mad, bad things happen.
So, watch me get on Gabby's good side though, because she told me not to give you ideas. So this is my 1B.
Yes.
Miss Gabby, if you could dress Mr. Bryce Mills, not that you have I just zoomed in on him again.
Man.
Eeyore I think is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But if you could pick something to dress him up as, like he loses a bet this weekend, and you have to like shoot me a message, and you have to tell, like you got to tell me what the bet is, so whoever wins or loses, like I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna be the ref to make sure that one of y'all does this. What would you make Bryce dress up as? I feel like she like you care. You don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, she's gonna have a
She's
much
gonna
better
hit.
answer
She's
than
gonna get. She's gonna make sure you don't blink.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It would be something. I'd have to pick a really good one. I'd have to think long and hard.
Okay.
But it would be something from a musical.
Oh, okay.
Because he does not like musicals.
So you think he could be like Glinda the Good Witch, and you could bring him to go see Wicked?
Exactly. I was thinking Wicked.
Yeah.
Is Matt. He does not like musicals.
So you're gonna dress up like Ariana Grande.
It would get him out of his comfort zone for sure.
Whatever Gabby says, I'm in. Ariana Grande it is. Sorry,
That's-
guys.
That's very kind of you.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
If I was dating somebody right now, I would tell her you're gonna have to murder me.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
I
to
mean-
put that costume on my dead body and then describe to my parents why that's the body that's in the casket with that dress on. Like you just said, fine.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't leave the house. I would be comfortable
In the house
in the house
as Glinda the Good Witch.
as Glinda the Good Witch
He doesn't even know.
with a few. I don't even know who that is, but it's a witch.
What you just agreed to do, you shouldn't have agreed to do.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be nice.
probably.
Let it be alphabet.
You let him be alphabet, so she's gonna
Yeah.
paint you green.
I
Do you like the color green?
honestly, if Gabby likes the color green,
Oh my goodness.
I like the color green.
Is he like this off the air?
No.
No? Okay. All right. What's your next question for me, Bryce?
Okay.
What he does.
We did Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
So, with Thanksgiving coming up,
hmm
what is the food that you're looking forward to the most?
It's one of the first things that I ever made. Oh, it's the first. It's not the first thing I ever cooked, but it's the first thing that I ever made for Thanksgiving. And speaking of grandparents, I did it while my grandmother, my mom's mom, G Mama, while she was still alive. And she always made sweet potatoes. And she just had like, they were perfect. Like she made them taste like candy. And so I made them one year, first time I made them. And I can still remember this. And people were eating their food and they're like, oh my gosh, Dan, sweet potatoes. And like my mom and my dad, like our friends, everybody's like loving it. And I said, yeah. I said, gee, what do you think? And she goes, what, you want me to try them? And I said, yeah. I said, so she put whatever she had on her fork away, and she scooped the sweet potatoes, and she tried it. She looked at me, and her eyebrows went up, and she goes, good. And I said, with all due respect to everyone at this table, I care about no one's opinion except for that woman. So I love making sweet potatoes. And there's like a trick to how I make sure that like everything that I like season them with, that it actually gets through, and it's very tedious and it takes a minute, but like it's just something I figured out works. So I have a little trick to my sweet potatoes for sure.
Okay, that's valid. I love sweet potatoes too, so I can get with that, no doubt.
So my question, and I got to do this, like haven't seen this dude since high school at CBA. Shout out to Rob Draker. We're gonna talk, buddy. Give it a
Shout
clap it
out
up for
Rob
Rob.
Draker.
So,
Great
thanks
man.
for coming out here,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and Rob, what's your daughter's name? Eliana? Yep. Eliana, make sure you give your dad a big hug and you love him up, okay? And y'all have a good week. And you be better to your dad than Gabby and Bryce are to each other. Okay? So, thanks, Rob. Have a good night.
Don't put him in any costumes.
So, yeah, be nice to Pops. So my question back to you, Bryce. Okay. If you did a fight on Halloween and you had to dress up like a comic book character and your adversary had to do the same, who would you be? And if you got to pick their costume, who would they be?
Wow, that was in depth.
Well, and I'm wearing this hat that has a reason to it.
Okay.
And it says no rivals on the back. So it says Doom on the front, no rivals on the back. But there's a purpose. So who would you be, and who would your, since you just fought around Halloween, you fought on the 30th, right?
Yep.
The day before, so.
Yep. Man. See, I was going to say...
We can call it the monster match.
Since I like that. Since I feel like my opponents typically run for me, I was going to say I would be that cat, I would be Tom, and they would have to be Jerry. But unfortunately on the show, I did root for Jerry, and I was more of a Jerry fan than I was a Tom fan.
Okay.
So I don't know how that would go.
Okay.
So I would be... Let's keep it fight style. I would be Rocky. My opponent would have to dress up as Drago.
Okay.
That may be a little weird, but yeah, we do that because I mean that's my favorite movie, Rocky IV, and I always that was one of the things that inspired me to love boxing and to love fighting. So yeah, I'd go with that.
I think we all believe that Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa are two different people. Like Rocky, there's an actual fighter named Rocky Balboa, and then there's an actor named Sylvester Stallone.
That's very true. Yeah.
What's your last question for me? Because we have to eat Grandma's pie.
Yes, we
So,
do.
by the way, I don't think your dad heard it when I said it, because we talk about Grandma's pie all the time. So, I said Bryce means more to me than Grandma's pie. And he told me that was a very high praise.
How highly I value Grandma's pie, that is a extremely high praise. Honestly, I think that's the best compliment I've received from you. Well, that is amazing.
And who got you to try Grandma's pie?
Yeah, you did right here. I remember it's
right on the other side.
I do.
We met for lunch, and I said, "You want to get some Grandma's pie?" And you're like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the best thing that you're gonna eat." So.
It's been on my foods to eat list in my note section every single training camp leading up to one of my fights. So yeah, thank you. So
to John Fratto and the Avicolli family, you have a part in 20 victories.
Yes,
the majority of these victories.
Yeah.
Since we've gotten there.
Yes.
Because it's part of your eating.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Grandma's pie.
Fuel me up.
The food of champions.
Quality food. That's right.
All right, what's your last one for me?
So my last question would be, okay. Are aliens real? And if they are real, are they meant to, do you think they want to help us? Or do you think they would want to take over our world and hurt us?
I love the question. They scared me as a child.
Yes.
And now I came up with a dirty cartoon, an adult cartoon about an alien named Roger. I'm not going to share it today.
Okay.
But even the song is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so my buddies will actually joke about Roger all the time. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I can when something sounds weird, or I think I see something or whatever, I want to refute it. Well, I was going to sleep one night. There was no reason to be on Instagram. It was 1, 2 in the morning. And I was in my bedroom, and I was turned facing the back wall of my house. So my backyard. as I'm starting to fall asleep, on the other side of the wall, I hear, and I like this thing climbing up my house. And then it goes up onto the roof, and it makes a big bang on the roof. Then nothing. Right before I heard the sound, I kid you not, I heard wow, 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 wow. So I was like, okay, maybe it's somebody's drone or something. But I heard that noise, I heard the climb, I heard the bang, I heard the sound on the roof, and then nothing. And I was watching, what was I watching? I was watching Big Bang Theory. So I'm laying in bed watching Big Bang Theory, and I'm looking at my ceiling. And I'm thinking to myself, there's an alien on my ceiling with x-ray vision looking at me, looking at him, and I was like, I'm not, and you talk about this, I didn't blink for 45 minutes. So I'm looking up at him and I was like, bet money, I'm not moving. I'm not moving till you leave. I wanted him to feel like I met a human who's not gonna, I'm not gonna unstare this man. So I laid in bed and I barely moved. And then all of a sudden, I heard nothing until I heard wah, 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 and then I heard nothing after that. Wide awake, I don't do drugs, I've never been drunk, like I was totally coherent, So I still to this day cannot describe what happened. And I had a meeting the next morning at 7:45 a.m. and I went to bed at like 3. So I got a meeting at 7:45 in the morning, and I go to the meeting. I'm early. The guy shows up late, and he looks at me and he goes, "So how are you this morning?" And it was the only thing I was thinking about. So I looked at him. I go, "Fine, outside of the fact that I think there was just an alien attack on my house last night." My mom goes, "You started a business meeting by telling a man there was an alien on the roof?" Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, yes." Because I was disturbed by it. And then I told my neighbors, and they were like, wait a minute. Like, when was this? And I'm like, oh, it was like, at the time it was a couple weeks ago. But I couldn't refute it. Normally I could. And they're like, my mom goes, why didn't you go outside? I said, oh yeah, me and my sandals and my boxers with a bat in my hand, I'm going to get lasered in the face, and I'm out. And I don't want to die that way. I'd rather be the guy that thinks there was an alien on my roof than the guy that knows there was and died because of it. So, yeah, so I'm still alive, and the alien doesn't know that I may or may not have Disney pajamas. I don't know. I mean, that's just how it is. So, my question back to you. So, it's either two men comfortable in who they are. Eeyore, Disney pajamas. That's how we roll. So, my last question for you. Oh, so wait, I didn't answer it all. So, do I think they exist? Apparently. And do I think they're here to harm us or help us? I think an alien that is looking at this world in 2025 said, oh, why don't we go somewhere else? Because it sounds like they're doing a good job defeating themselves.
I agree.
Like, if I was an alien hovering right now, I'd be like, how many people watch the Kardashians? For real? Like, there's a Real Housewives of Mars? Yeah. I mean, come on. So, I think if I was an alien right now, and I looked at this world, I'd go, yeah, I'm good. I think we're going to go to another galaxy and see what else is there.
I agree with you.
So my final question for you, if you and I were the expedition to meet aliens that were up in space, like this 31 Atlas thing that everyone's talking about, like, oh, it's a comet, no, it's not, whatever. Again, you and I believe in God. I don't think he gives you anything you can't handle. So if an alien ship's coming, well, I got the ace in the hole. I got God. I guess I'm fighting aliens. So if you and I were picked by the President of the United States to be the welcome wagon for the aliens, and you and I had to go up into orbit to the International Space Station to meet these aliens before any human being ever did. Wow. Bring me into the first thing you would say. It can't be we come in peace. Yep. So the first thing you would say, what food would we bring them, and what would we wear?
So I believe the first thing we would say to the aliens is,
Don't blink.
I was actually gonna go with I'm sorry. You know, we've caused each other enough harm. I don't think we need to cause the aliens harm now too.
Okay.
So I'd probably lead with I'm sorry, lead with the apology,
Okay.
and I would give them
Food.
food.
Yeah.
Jeez, aliens. It doesn't need to be like spaceship food that like doesn't float up in
No,
the
like real
sky
food.
and real food. I
Yeah.
gotta give them grandma's pie then. In honor of the grandma's pie.
I knew you were gonna say
You
that
go
because
grandma's
then we know for sure we wouldn't die.
Yes.
Like they would
yes.
spare us. They'd say, "Stay up here. We got to take care of something." We look out the space station. They're like sending off lasers and stuff. We're good.
Yeah, we're fine.
If we give them grandma's pie, we're gonna live.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. So grandma's pie. I'm sorry. And what was the other question? The third.
What would we wear?
Oh man. Oh God. Well.
Alien onesies designed by Gabby.
Yes, I think I'd have to ask Gabby what the best option is.
I'll be E.T. and you could be like from Alien vs Predator or something like that. No, like what would we wear?
We would have to wear. Space suits because we would die if we were in.
Right, but what's under the space?
If we were in. Man.
I knew you were gonna say that as practical.
I'm trying to be very logical right now.
We get to the space station. We have the spacesuits. They say we can understand each other.
Yeah.
And they say take off the space because we're in the station. They say take off the spacesuit to make sure that you don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
What are we wearing underneath?
Well, we'd have to go to like Party City or something and get an actual alien costume and say this is what we think you look like.
Yeah.
Is it accurate and how do you feel? Are you guys irritated or is this like, do they look pretty good to you guys? Are you guys flattered? So we
Right.
would just get their opinion because I'm always interested to see if aliens really look like we think they look like. You know, because no one's. I mean, I technically haven't seen a green alien like walking around. So
Right.
yeah.
So fair enough. So we would wear something to ask them if they're okay with that.
Yeah.
So I believe that you take away whatever somebody can make fun of you for or hate you for, you take it away. So I had somebody say to me, I'm like if you were president and like you're walking out of Air Force One, what would you have on? I said I would have a T-shirt on that says I demand a recount. Because then the people that didn't vote for me would be like, how can you hate that guy?
Yeah,
like that
I
guy's
guess so.
funny.
Yeah.
Right? So we would wear alien costumes, bring them grandma's pie, and apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. I don't
Sounds
think
fair.
we're gonna die. I think
No,
we'll be good.
I think the grandma's pie is all we need. I think
Yes.
that's how we're going to do it. So with that being said, Bryce Mills, 20-1, future Martian manhunter, and my little brother, please from Avicolli's and all around the world, give a round of applause to this man, his team, and the fact that he makes sure that just in case you do blink, he's going to be ready. Give him a round of applause. Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
God bless y'all.